everyone.
You didn't win.
Hi, everybody. Please switch on your cameras real quick.
Can you hear them?
And guys, in today's session, it's important for everyone to switch on their cameras. Everybody, please. Guys, everybody. As I said, in today's session, it is important for everyone to switch on their cameras. Everybody shall please switch on their cameras. I can see a lot of people have still not switched on their cameras. This is important. Like I said, for today's session, if anyone who's not switching on their cameras shall not be permitted in the meeting. I'm so sorry about that, guys. And everybody has to stay active on text because I know that everyone is muted from their ends, right? Guys, I haven't even started any particular topic. Why are you guys raising your hands? Guys, if you have any queries, if you have any questions for me, please post it on the chat box. You will have an option to text me, right? So guys, and also those of you who are switching on their cameras, like I can see user Hey, please disable your, virtual background settings. Not a problem if your name is wrong, not a problem, guys. I'll just quickly check my settings and I'll allow everyone to rename themselves. Yeah, so you guys can now rename yourselves. Okay, but no funny usernames or something. Okay, and guys, I want everyone to text me. No. Yes, Ayat, please quickly get your pen and paper. Yes, user, hey, please text me or like drop me a text, my dear. If you have any query anywhere, we can, have a conversation on the chat box. If you have to answer, you guys can raise your hands and I'll unmute you from my end. Then you can answer. Apart from that, guys, if in case, I hope I'm clearly audible to everyone. If yes, just give me a thumbs up in front of the camera. Yes, am I clearly audible? All right, great. You guys are giving me a thumbs up. So guys, in today's class, I'm going to be starting with percentages and algebra. Like I said, like you would have received the text about doing percentages and algebra. A few questions that I have picked up from today for today's class. They are also the past year paper questions. And apart from that, they are mixed questions of percentages and algebra. That is, in the same question, you may have to even solve something. Algebra is basically dealing with word problems, making equations of it, right? So I have majorly tried to take up some word problems and all of that. Right? Everybody can please quickly get a pen and paper. All right? Everyone, please get a pen and paper for yourself. User, hey, this is for 11 plus exam. I'm going to be starting with basics. Don't worry. Even if you are doing, even if you're doing year 4, then also you'll be able to understand the basics. You can be here for the basics. Of course, I'm not promising everyone that, for the year 4 kids, that you will be able to understand the word problems, the advanced level questions also that we shall be doing today, right? But I'll try my best to keep it basic. I mean, start from the basics so that you understand those particular advanced level concepts. So starting from the basics, guys, I'm starting the topic of percentages, right? I guess a lot of people would have been taking the class with Glecta for the first time. Is there anyone who's attending classes for the first time? Can raise their hand or text me. Okay, I can see a few people. All right. So you guys are attending classes for the first time. So guys, if you're taking class with Glecta for the first time, let me tell you, over here, we are taking classes for all the platforms, be it year 1, year 2, or for year 5, 11 plus exams. If you want to sit for SATs, or if you want to go for GCSEs, A levels. So if you have elder or younger siblings as well, right, who want to take help for their GCSEs or anything like that, you can contact the team. All right, you would have their numbers, you would have the admin team's numbers. I will show you the numbers by the end of the class as well. So you can drop a text over there. All right, and let's get started. Like I said, we would be starting with the topic of percentages. In percentages, what do we actually, first of all, mean by the word percent? Cent means 100. Those of you who know the answers to the questions should drop me a text over here. I will be active on the chat box, guys. Please drop me a text. I'll allow you to unmute only when I'll be asking you questions and you have to answer, or only when you would have to, ask your doubts while we are doing questions. All right, only then I shall allow you to unmute. Percentages, like I said, per 100. So if I say 20%, right? 20% means 20 over 100. Now, like I said, since you guys are preparing for 11 plus exams, we have to be speedy with our calculations. So before I actually start with the word problems, I'm quickly going to tell you about some mental math shortcuts. Right now, since we are discussing percentages, let's do some mental math shortcuts of percentages. Learning to calculate percentages of some amounts in less than 5 seconds. Ignore the question on the screen. Right now, let me tell you the basics first. For example, if you want to do 20% of 30, 60% of 80, or 60% of 40, sorry, or 40% of 70, I can get my answer in less than 0.5 seconds. Not 5 seconds, less than 0.5 seconds. I know you would have done your calculations. When we are doing 20% of 30, the method is, I'll tell you the concept first, guys. 20% means 20 over 100, right? Times it by 30. Of course, we do 600 divided by 100, which gives us a 6. This is the concept, guys, of calculating percentage. The word of always means that we are multiplying. But like I said, with me, you're not going to learn the standard way only. You're also going to learn the shortcuts, right? So over here, guys, simply whenever numbers end with zeros, cross, 2 times 3, 6. 6 times 4, 24. 4 times 7, 28. You see, we got the answer in less than 0.5 seconds, isn't it? So this is a shortcut for percentages over here, that whenever we are calculating percentages of an amount, and these amounts are ending with zeros, so we can do it mentally within just a second. Just multiply these numbers. I have done 6 times 4 over here, 4 times 7. Now, guys, be active and let's see who answers me first. I want everyone to be active on the chat box. Is everyone ready? Should I write down the question? Okay. The question for you is, text me your answer. 30% of 80, 90% of 70, and 60% of 50. I want all the 3 answers in one single text, guys. Do not text me 3 different answers. I want everyone to answer me in a single text. Answer number 1, answer 2, answer 3. Let's see who gives me all 3 correct first. So Isa has given me first. 1 second. 1 second. Where did the message go? Isa Khan. Very good, Isa Khan. She was the first one to give me the correct answer for all 3 of them. 30% of 80. 3 times 8, 24. 90% of 70, 63. 60% of 50, 6 times 5, 30. Now, guys, keep taking screenshots as well. In case you miss out anything on writing part, you can take a screenshot and you know that the video would be uploaded later on YouTube as well very soon. All right. So you can see the video and also do it from there also as well. Yes, Ayat?
I think, you know, this question 248% to 50. I think I've learned its trick before to do it in a few seconds.
Yeah, I will tell you about that as well. Like I said, darling, one by one. All right. Now, guys, right now you have learned about 40% of 50, 60% of 80, and so on. Those were the numbers ending with zeros. Now, what if our numbers do not end in zeros? Like if I say 35% of 60, right? Now, guys, think of it in this way, that 35 is half of 70, right? Now, you know your shortcut for numbers ending with zeros. 7 times 6. That's all you got to do, isn't it? 7 times 6 is 42. Take half of 42, 21. Again, got my answer in hardly 2 seconds. All right, you could have done it mentally as well, right? We can also do 60% of 35, like over here, you have mentioned it to me on the text box. Ahayan, you have texted me that you can switch the numbers. Yes, absolutely. But then 60% of 35, for that also, you will have to do 6 times 35 and you would have to work that out, right? So that's why I have told you even a shorter technique. Now, for example, if I want to do 45% of 80, think of what is like, what can I write 45 as so that I can have zeros in the end? You know 45 is half of 90, right? 9 times 8, 72. And half of 72, 36. Got my answer in hardly 2 seconds again. All right. I hope everyone understands this bit. Now I'm going to give you a similar question. 25% of 60. Come on, let's see who answers me first. And wait. You have to give me two answers together. I want you guys to give me two answers together. All right. 75 or wait. 15% of 80. Come on now, guys. Let's see who answers me first. Both the answers together, only that I shall be considering. Okay, so Daniel and David. Now that's one single username that I see. But Daniel, David was the first one to give me the correct answer for both of them. Very good. So 25% of 60, you do half of 25, which is 50. 50% of 60 is 30. And half of 30, 15. 15% of 80, half of 15, I mean, half of 30 is 15. 30% of 80 is 200. 30% of 80 is 24. And half of 24 is 12. Absolutely correct. This was the percentages shortcut. Next thing, guys, over here, remember some standard percentages as well. 25% is always a quarter. 50%. Don't we say that, okay, are we going to school tomorrow? 50-50 chance, right? I may or may not go. So you have half-half situation, right? 50% means 1/2. 75% is 3/4 and 100% is 1/2, right? Now, okay, who is that annotating? No, nobody shall annotate, please, guys. Wait 1 second. Let me disable that. Yeah. Nobody is allowed to annotate except me, of course, right? Sorry, guys, not allowed to annotate. You're allowed only to text me. And in case you have any queries, you can raise your hand, right? Or you can drop me a text on the chat box. All right? Okay. Going on to the next part. Next shortcut is that we are learning X% of Y means Y% of X. These are same. That is, we can always swap them up. So if I want to calculate 248% of 50, I can just do 50% of 248. Now you guys know 50% is a half. Take half of 248. 1, 2, 4. This is my answer. All right. Yes, I can see a lot of people have given me correct answers on the chat box already. That's interesting. Devesh, Dabi, Tanish, Abraham, already given me correct answers. All right. Whosoever has any doubts, any questions, please, guys, drop me it on the chat box. All right. I shall answer your queries, your questions, all on the chat box. All right. Okay. Moving on to the next trick. If you guys want, you can take quick screenshots. I'm going to give you enough time for you to be able to take screenshots and everything. All right. Okay. Next one. On one single page, I shared multiple shortcuts. I told you X% of Y and Y% of X. Then I told you a shortcut about zeros. Then I told you 3 standard percentages, 25%, 50%, 70%. So till now, we have done 3 shortcuts for percentages that will help you up in your exam. The second shortcut is the double and half technique. Now see, guys, it's complicated to do 12.5% of 256. Easier way to do it is you take the double of 12.5. That is 25. And take half of 256. Half of 256, 128, right? Now it's easy to calculate 1/4 of 128 whenever you're multiplying a fraction by a number. In the denominator, I have a 4. I can always divide it. 128 divided by 4. 12 divided by 4, 3. 8 divided by 4, 2. My answer is 32 over here. All right. All right. Yes, Isa, we can also do 12.5 to 1/8. That's also absolutely correct. All right. Yes, Shidibu, yes, but you have, I think, your 11 plus, right? So we are preparing for that as well. This class is for 11 plus mainly, all right? So this is called the double and half technique. Whenever you have something like decimals, right? And you think that it would become easy if we just doubled it up. Take the double of the first number, take the half of another number. All right, guys, take a quick note of it. You can take a screenshot, whatever suits you the best. All right. Yes, Isa Khan, that's also an appropriate approach. Absolutely correct, my dear. Okay, shall I move on to the next one, guys? Thumbs up if you're good with this technique. Yes. Right. I can see most of you guys are putting your thumbs up. All right, all right. So let's move on to the next one. Now, guys, over here, I told you the shortcut, right? 80% of 20% of 4,000, ending with zeros. This zero crosses out with this zero. This zero crosses out with this zero. So you just have to do 8 times 2, which is 16. 16 times 4, which is 64, right? So that's what we're doing over here, isn't it? You can also consider it in this way that 80% means I'm doing 80 over 100, 20% means 20 over 100, right? So how are we canceling out our zeros? 0, 0, 0, 0. 2 zeros got crossed out from this part. Whenever we are dividing by tens, hundreds, we can always do it in that manner. And of course, we have one extra zero over here. So we got 64 and we'll write this one extra zero, 640. Yes? I hope everyone gets it. Yes, guys? Is everyone getting it? Thumbs up, thumbs up. I see thumbs up on the screen. Okay, I see thumbs ups. All right, guys. Now, shall we get started with the questions then? Yeah. 1 second here. Who has texted me this? Okay, I think you guys, yeah. I'm just checking the text box, guys, so that I know that I have not skipped anyone's message. Anabia, if that's the case, try switching to another device, please. Okay, guys, let's get started now for word problems. Because see, I've told you the shortcuts already, right? So now I expect you guys to do the word problems. Are we ready? Okay, let's get started now for word problems. Also, guys, before I start with word problems, I would like to tell you that our admissions are open, right? As I said, that we are conducting classes for all the years, starting from year 1, 2, 3 onwards, up till year 13. If anyone is preparing for SATs, anything like that, right? Our new batches are going to start very soon. We have really limited slots available in our batches. So I would ask you to hurry up and register if you're interested in the, interested in taking classes with us. All right, because like I said, we have limited time slots available, limited seats available. So you would have to hurry up. These are the subjects. All the details are given to you on the screen and you have the numbers as well. If anyone wants to take a screenshot, you can take a screenshot. And these are the numbers that you shall contact. All right. And as I said that we are going to, learning these kinds of shortcuts and everything. Why does it say FSCE? Because there in 11 plus exam, we have different boards. GL exam board conducts MCQs, objective questions. Then there is CSSE exam board, which conducts subjective paper, right? There are like no options given to us. Now, FSC is also an exam board. Certain counties would be conducting FSCs as well, which would consider which would be a technical mix of both the patterns. Section A is objective, that is, you would be having multiple options for every question. And section B is subjective. No option would be given to us. You have to show your workings and mark the correct answer. In case anyone has any questions, please drop me a text, guys. All right, I am moving on to this word problem. Now, over here, I'll read it out for you guys. Afraz earns £550 each week after taxes. She deposits 10% of her income in the savings account and a 7% in a retirement fund. How much does Christine have left after the money is taken out for her savings account and retirement fund? Now, guys, You don't have to separately calculate 10% of 550 and 7% of retirement fund. No, 10% plus 7%, 17, right? So that means now how much is left? Of course, 83%, because the total always adds up to 100%, right? So if she is paying 17% already, right, she would now be saving 83%, isn't it? So you have to calculate 83% of 550. I want everyone to calculate their answers, please, and drop me your answers on the chat box. Okay, guys, one second, I'm reading your text. Guys, I'm waiting for everyone to calculate their answers. Afraz asks about SEM. Dear, SEM has been cancelled. SEM was conducted earlier. Right now, from the past few years, SEM is not being conducted. It has been cancelled. Right? So that's why we majorly prepare for GL, FSCE, CSSE exam board. All right? Okay, I think Ayat is the first one to give me the correct answer for this question. Waiting for everyone else. All right, guys, I can see most of you are getting correct answer. We are doing 83% of 550. Now, 83 times 550 over 100. 0 crossed out. You just have to do 83 times 55. Now, guys, when you do 83 times 55, you would get 4,565. And you're dividing it by 10. So division by 10, if there is 1 0 in the denominator, right, we put a decimal in at a place where I get one digit after the decimal. That's the basic technique. All right. If you guys want, you can take a screenshot of this one. I hope everyone gets it. In case you have any confusion, guys, please drop me a text. All right. Waiting for everyone. I'm giving you guys 30 seconds so that if in case anyone wants to take a screenshot, if anyone wants to take a note of it, you guys, and if anyone has any queries regarding to this question, you guys can drop me a text. Okay, I can receive done. All right, guys, let's move on to the next one. Yeah. Okay, next one. Now, 1152 out of 3,600 people surveyed that they work more than 40 hours per week. Oh my God, that's a lot of work. What percentage of the people surveyed said that they work more than 40 hours per week? Now see, 1152, what is percentages? We are dividing it by the total, 3,600, right? Now, after this, we are going to times it by 100 because we have to convert this fraction into a percentage. Earlier, we were calculating percentages, right? That's when we were dividing by 100. Now it's a fraction that I'm considering. That is 1152 out of 3600. That's a fraction. I have to convert it in percentages. I'll be multiplying it by 100. Now, how to do this, guys? 0 and 0 crossed out. 0 and 0 again crossed out. Now, see, guys, how do I do 1152 divided by 36? Of course, if you start with division, that's going to take you long enough. Always use your mental math techniques. Try to find a common factor. This is called simplification of fractions. We try to find out a common factor of both the numbers and divide it by that particular number. Now, you must have done divisibility rules in your year 5, right? We know that if all the digits of a number are divisible by 3, like if I add up all the numbers and they are divisible by 3, that means the number is divisible by 3. Now, if I look at 1152, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 5, 7, 7 plus 2, 9. 9 is clearly a multiple of 3. So I can divide the numerator and the denominator both by 3, right? So over here, when you divide 1152 by 3, you get 384. Also, you can take it as division by 9 as well, because 1152 is also a multiple of 9. Okay, I'm dividing it by 9 to make it more simpler. 36 is clearly 9 times 4. And when you divide this number, the top number by 9, you get 128. Now you see, I can cross out 128 and 4 as well. 12 divided by 4, 3. 8 divided by 4, 2. We get our answer as 32. 32 would be the right answer in this case. All right. This is 32. Let me explain it to you guys again. We are given that 1,152 out of 3,600 people surveyed that they work more than 40 hours per week. We have to work on the percentage of people. So whatever number of people are given, divided by the total. That's what we mean by fraction. Fraction is part divided by whole. This is the part. This is the whole. That means the fraction becomes 1152 over 3600. And to convert it in percentage, I multiplied it by 100, right? So over here, I have just crossed out these two zeros. Zeros and zeros from the numerator and denominator can always be crossed out when you are multiplying or dividing. All right. Okay, guys. Now, shall we increase our level a little bit? Yes, guys. Let's get it slightly more advanced now. Okay, let's get over to some advanced questions. Okay, yeah, before I go on to the advanced questions, we are starting our summer intensive courses as well for you guys. Let me tell you about that. There are the courses of advanced math that we have started, spatial reasoning that we have started. All right, in case anyone is interested, again, the numbers remain the same. You guys can enroll. Also for summer intensive courses, they are more of like your revision courses, guys. So in case you have not been taking regular lessons with us, right, we are going to do topic-wise revision. All right, topic-wise revision with tips and tricks. Like right now when we are doing percentages and algebra, I am guiding you about how to do it quickly. How can we use mental math to do it, right? So over here also in these particular courses, we are going to do it with each and every topic. I'll be telling you the shortcuts for every single topic. Apart from that, guys, we have also been conducting mock tests and these are absolutely free of cost. And I always suggest one thing, never leave anything that comes for free, right? So these are the mock tests that we have been conducting. These are conducted face-to-face as well as online. All right, there are face-to-face at our center. You can take the address and everything. The team will guide you about it, as I said. All right, and we have our FSC mock test, CSSC mock test, GL mock test. Even tomorrow is a Sunday. We'll be conducting 2 mocks tomorrow as well at our center. All right, and similarly, next Sunday as well. We have been conducting mock tests every Sunday. All right, and guys, this is the right time that you must practice mock tests to get an idea about your speed. Guys, if you have any queries, please drop me a text. I can see Tofumi, Ayush, Isa, everyone is raising hands. Guys, please drop your questions on the chat box. All right, I cannot unmute everyone at a single time. Where Hiva asks, where is the center? Darling, if you want to know the address, you can just text this number and they shall send you the location. They'll guide you about the address and everything. All right. Okay, guys, now coming to the question part that we were supposed to do. Okay, so a rectangle is 50 centimeters long and 40 centimeters wide. Its length is extended by 12% and its width is reduced by 15%. Now, guys, over here, when I say it's extended by 12%, right? Initially, it's 50 centimeters long. After that, I am increasing 12% of that, right? So the new length would be 50, the initial 50 plus 12 over 100 times 50. Now, I have seen people doing a common mistake in this part. That is, 1 second to for me, I'll answer your question as well. If the common mistake that I have seen a lot of people doing in this part is that they just calculate 12% of 50, right? And then accordingly, they get their answer. This is cancelled out, like 12% of 50. You can also do 50% of 12, right? That is 6. So 50 plus 6 gives you 56, right? But people just do 6. That's it. And they think that the length is 6. No, guys, it has been increased by 12%. That means 50 plus 6. All right. Then 15% of 40. Now it has been reduced, right? So you would subtract. This is our new length. And our new width would be 40, take away 15% of 40, right? So 15 is technically, I told you how to do it mentally. 15 is half of 30, right? 30% of 40. 3 times 4, 12. Half of 12, 6, right? So 40 take away 6. That's what we are doing. 40 take away 6, that gives you 34, right? So now over here, before you answer your A part, this is our new length and new width. You guys see what have we done over here? You have increased the length by 6 centimeter and you have decreased the width by 6 centimeters. The new, okay, over here, the percentages is not the same. 12% and 15% are completely different, right? But the overall value that we are getting, 12% of 50 is same as 15% of 40. 6 centimeters increase, 6 centimeter decrease. Will that change our perimeter? No. The question over here just asks us to calculate that will our perimeter be changed? We would just write no. And the reason for that would be because the length and width have increased and decreased by 6 centimeters, right? So there would not be any change. All right, now coming to your questions, guys. So Tofomi asked, if you already do normal lessons, will it last in the summer? Yes, dear, it will definitely. And in your, because if you have been taking normal lessons with us, that means you have done the entire curriculum with us. In that case, we're going to do mock tests. We're going to do time-based practice in all of our classes. We're going to do advanced level questions. The intensive course is suggested if you want to do the practice, like the revision sessions and topic-wise revision and all of that. Okay, then coming to the next text. Ayat asks, the perimeter does not change because 6 is being, yes, correct answer, Ayat. Very good. The perimeter does not change because 6 is being added in the length, but is being subtracted in the width again. Okay. Haika asks me to explain again. Yes, I'll just do it. Over here, what we are doing is, we are saying that our the rectangle has sides 50 and 40. The new length is increased by 12%. I mean, the new rectangle that we are drawing, in that the length is increased by 12% and the width is reduced by 15%. So over here, will we have any overall change? I just calculated, these values, new length and new width. And I can say that over here, we have a 6 centimeter increase in length and 6 centimeter decrease in width. So overall, it balances out, no? The perimeter wouldn't change at all. But in case of area, the old area was 50 times 40, right? The new area is the multiple of both of these multiplied together, the new values, 56 times 34. This ends in zeros, right? I don't have to calculate the answer. It does not ask me to calculate it. These are not equal. I can just say that. All right, not equal, clearly not equal. So does the area change? Yes, it does, definitely. All right, you can clearly see that without any calculation, without anything, you can see that I have said that the areas are not equal. Why? Because 50 times 40 ends in zeros. So my answer must have 2 zeros in the end, right? 6 times 4 ends in 4, like 24, right? So that's how you're going to do it. Okay, Ayush asks, Miss, what is spatial reasoning? Their spatial reasoning is a part of NVR, non-verbal reasoning, right? When you learn about topics like cubes and nets, 3D shapes, blocks and everything, right? That's all a part of your spatial reasoning. The advanced level questions of cubes and nets, they are a part of your spatial reasoning. It majorly involves three-dimensional approaches, three-dimensional figures, opening the 3D figures and all of that. All right. Okay, guys, one second. Let me see if I have not skipped any text. I'm just quickly going over the text. All right, you guys have given me your answers as well. Yes, Isa, your answers are correct, but we did not really have to calculate it. All right, guys. Now you go through this question. I'm giving you guys 30 seconds in case anyone wants to take a note of it. If anyone wants to, take a screenshot of it, anything. You can take a note or a screenshot. You have 30 seconds, go through it and see if you have any confusion. I'll ask your I'll answer your queries. Ibrahim asks, Miss, how did you get 6 for 56? I did 12% of 50 because it is increased by 12%. Now I told you a shortcut as well, guys, that how do we calculate the percentages? I told you x% of y is same as y% of x. So instead of actually doing 12% of 50, I did in my mind 50% of 12. And I also told you that 50% means a half, right? So half of 12, what's that? It's 6. I got my answer mentally. All right, guys. Now see, on the calculations that I have done on the screen, you see, I have not taught you any kind of lengthy calculations over here at all. No, because that's not the approach that we shall be following for the 11 plus exam either. I would not suggest any student over here while you're giving your 11 plus exam, you get messed up in the calculations. No, it's not really required. Try to keep your calculations as minimalistic as possible. All right. I'll tell you one thing about the exam. That is that when you would be doing, like, if you take CSSC exam papers, look at the past year papers of different schools, right? You will see one common pattern that the first 3-4 questions are always arithmetic questions. They would involve questions like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. There would be decimals that would be multiplying. And those 4-5 questions are the only questions where you may or may not need calculation work. All right, especially like in math. Remember one thing, guys, math is not always about just calculations, doing 2 times 5 or doing heavy calculations like 34 times 56 and all of that, right? Maths is not about that. So in your exam, they would not ask you such difficult calculations ever. They would always ask you calculations which can be done using some mental math shortcuts or the other, right? So we have to be aware of mental math shortcuts so that you guys can use it. Ayat says bond books are very good for 11 plus. Yes, darling, they are. The questions and everything are good. But again, you need to know good mental math so that you can fasten up your speed. Speed really matters a lot. All right. Okay, I have missed one question. This is by Ayat. You see that the tens are 6 times 4. So the answer would have been ending in 4 and not 0. Yes, Ayat, that's what we are doing. Yes, Ayush, tell me. I'm listening. Ayat says for speed, do 10 minutes test. For topic-wise tests, I would say yes, a 10 minutes test for a practice would be good. But this is the point because you have your exam in September. So this is the point that you must start practicing the full 1 hour tests. All right. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next one. Let's switch to some questions of algebra now. Yes, guys? Okay, as I said that we are doing questions of algebra and percentages mixed together. So when we have these kinds of rectangles and everything, see, these are shapes, right? Shapes and algebras and questions being mixed together. Okay, word problems is part of algebra. Now, when we come to the algebra part, I remember taking a lesson with you guys even on last Wednesday, right? We did some questions of algebra and I told you that we would be doing more questions. I shared these shortcuts, the square trick, the 11 times table, those kinds of shortcuts in my previous session as well. In case anyone has missed out that particular session, guys, please make sure that you're watching the recording on YouTube, or you can ask the team to provide you the recording of the session. Nikunj asks, how do you do long multiplications quickly? Now, Nikunj, that would depend on the, multiplications that you're doing, depends on the numbers. There are different techniques for different numbers. Like, for example, double technique. Okay, Ayat asks, what is the square trick? The square trick over here, Ayat, we have shortcuts for calculating square numbers which end with number 5, like 35 square, 45 square, 65 square. Those who have taken classes with me earlier, we have discussed this shortcut in our classes. We know that 5 square is 25, right? So any number ending with 5 has a square ending at 25. Then the number that is written over here at the 10th place, we multiply it by the next number. 3, after 3, we have 4. 3 times 4, 12. I got my answer for 35 square mentally in 2 seconds. My answer is 1,225. For 45 square, 4 times 5, that is 20. I got my answer mentally, 2,025. 65 square, we can do it mentally, 6 times 7, 42. 75 square, 7 times 8, 56. So 5625. Now let's see who gives me the answer first for 85 square. Sanvi says, could you please share the recording of the last session? Dear, we have them on YouTube. You can ask the team and I can see, oh my God, so many students. 1 second, guys. All right, so Tanish, Riyanshi, Ayat, Ibrahim, and Devesh, Vishnu, Sherpa, all of you have given me correct answer. Dabi, Udita, Rohit, Anabia, Haika, Claire, Nikunj, Kyra, Esau. All right, guys, correct answers. So over here, we are doing 8 times 9, that is 72, and 25. One more, come on. Give me your answer for 105 square. Let's see who does that first. Waiting for your answers, guys. Vishnu has given me the correct answer. Very good, Vishnu. Only Vishnu has given me the correct answer so far. Oditab, Isa, correct answer, guys. Sherpa, Nikunj, Advet, correct answer, guys. So over here, we are going to do 10 times 11, that is 110. 5 square, 25. This is my answer. All right, guys, in case you have any doubts anywhere, guys, please drop me a text. Ayan, I can see that you're raising your hand. Please drop me a text, my dear. All right. Okay. Now, after this, coming to the question of algebra, where we are making equations, solving equations. So over here, the prices of 2 items, P and Q, in a shop are in the ratio 4:5. When the price of P is increased by 12 and the price of Q is reduced by 6, they have the same prices. So technically we are given that P plus 12 is same as Q minus 6. Ayan, I have been receiving your answers. Why would you say that, my dear? I'm calling out the people who are giving me correct answers. Don't worry. All right. Okay, so if your answer is correct, I would have definitely called you out. If you're giving me initially, like whosoever gives me the answer fastest, I'm calling out those particular people, but I am receiving answers from everyone. Don't worry about it, guys. All right. Okay, coming to this particular question. Now I have formed an equation. See, whatever is given to you in this English language over here, you have to convert it in mathematical language. So over here, added 12, P plus 12. Reduced by 6, minus 6. Now, I need a relationship between P and Q so that I can solve the equation. You have learned about solving equations when you have like 2x plus 3x equals 5, right? Why were we able to solve these kinds of equations? Because these are just x that we are talking about, right? So over here, guys, I need to convert my equation. Either I write it only in terms of P or I write it only in terms of Q. All right. So I would be using the part that is given to me. The prices of 2 items are in the ratio 4/5. Now, guys, take a note of this thing that whenever a fraction equals another fraction, we can always cross multiply. So I'm just going to make a cross over here, guys. And 5p equals 4q, right? Or you can also say that p equals 4/5 of Q. I am going to substitute these values. Now, guys, always remember that whenever you are rearranging an equation, what we do is whatever is being divided, that gets multiplied on the other side. And whatever is being multiplied, when you shift it on the other side, it gets divided. This is called following the inverse operation. Similarly, if something is being added, we subtract it on the other side and vice versa. I'll show you over here. P plus 12 as it is. Oh, sorry. 1 second, guys. Let me rearrange it in the form for Q because we have to figure out the value of P, right? So over here, I can write 5P equals 4Q. This would give us Q as 5 over 4 P. I have just divided by 4 on both the sides. So I keep this P as it is, and I substitute the value of Q over here, right? This thing is done. This is slightly advanced, right? So guys, pay attention over here while you're understanding this. Understand this very carefully. P plus 12 equals 5P over 4 minus 6, right? So I need to rearrange it in a way that I have all the P's on one side and I have all the other numbers on the other side, right? That's how we are going to rearrange it. So over here, 5 over 4P is being added. It's positive on the right side. So when we shift it on the left side, it gets divided. Or you can also do it in this way. Take this P on the other side. So over here we have 5 over 4P. This P is positive. When I shift it on the right side, it gets negative. And take this 6 on the other side. Whenever we are solving questions of algebra, whenever we are solving equations, we try to write a letter on one side and number on another side. So we would do 12 plus 6. Now guys, 12 plus 6 is 18 over here. 18 equals 5P minus 4P over 4, right? A quarter minus 5 quarters minus 1, right? That's what we are doing. I can see a lot of you are raising your hands. Yes, Sharwari, sorry.
Are P and Q different variables?
Yes, different variables. That's why we are trying to write them in terms of one another by using the information that is already given to us in the question. All right, we are trying to convert them in one variable equation so that we can solve it. All right, so over here now, when I solve it, I am getting 1/4 of P equals 18. That means P equals 18 times by 4. This would give me the value of P. Is that clear to everyone? Yes, guys? All right. Giving you guys 30 seconds to go through this. Go through this. See if you understand every single thing that we have done. I'll re-go over it. I'll explain it to you guys again. Over here, the information that was given to us in the question was that 2 items are in the ratio 4 over 5, right? I took that as my fraction, right? I wrote 5P equals 4Q. Then over here, I rearranged it by dividing by 4 on both the sides so that I can get a value of Q. I got Q equals 5 over 4P. The next thing that we have is P plus 12 equals Q minus 6 because the price of P is increased by 12, price of Q is reduced by 6, and we are saying that then they have the same price, right? So now I have just rearranged it after substituting the value of Q. So I took P on the right side, 5P minus 5P over 4 minus P. I got that as 1/4, and I did 12 plus 6, right? 12 plus 6 is 18. We did a quarter P equals to 18. That means 18 times 4 would give me the answer for the value of P. This gives us 72. All right.